So the top weight is Rushing Wild, ridden by Richard Dunwoody, Sipton Abbey by Steve Smith-Eccles, Cool Ground by Adrian Maguire, and Zeta's Lad by Robbie Supple. Number 5, River Tarquin, Blinkered Runner, Kevin Morgan's mount. Number 6, Royal Athlete, Mark Pittman. Number 7, The Committee, John Short. Number 8, Laura's Bow, Blinkered, Conor O'Dwyer rides up Mudlark. Number 9, Ebony Jane, Charlie Swan. Number 10, Rust Never Sleeps. That's ridden by Tony Powell, brother of Brendan Powell. Number 11, The Gooser, Sean O'Donovan. 12, Bishop's Hall, Jason Titley. 13, Haki Saki, ridden by Jerry O'Neill. Number 14, Mass Appeal, Brendan Sheridan. 15 is Ali Moss, ridden by Francis Woods. And number 16, Captain Brandy, ridden by Francis Flood Jr. 16 is Crawford Says, Pat McWilliams. 18, Dagwood, David Evans. 19, Ferromin, Mr. Stan Murphy. Number 20 is for William, Kevin O'Brien. Number 21, Gertie's Pride, Kieran O'Brien. Number 22, Inch Lady, Trevor Horgan. Number 23, Joe White, ridden by Paul Carberry, son of Tom, of course. Number 24, Kindly King, Jamie McGee. 25 is Tlami Lee, ridden by Terry Mitchell. 26, Unavara Creek, Harry Rogers. And completing the lineup, one of the big outsiders, number 27, Rossi Novi, ridden by Mickey Duffy. Let's check the odds then from JT.
Thank you, Graham. And we have 3 co-favourites: Royal Athlete, Rushing Wild, and Zeta's Lad, all at 6 to 1. Ebony Jane on 7s, and Sipton Abbey a 10 to 1 chance. Cool Ground and Laura's Bow and For William are all at 12s. River Tarquin 14 to 1. The Committee on 16s, and they go 20s bar.
They're beginning to sort themselves out now, just waiting for the white flag to be raised. 3 miles 5 furlongs. The white flag is up, and all in readiness now for the big one of the day, the Jameson Irish Grand National. And they're off and running. Big cheer from the crowd as they make their way up the hill towards the first, and River Tarquin is the leader from Joe White and Ebony Jane. Ferriman is close up with Rushing Wild. Laura's Bow is right there too with Zeta's Lad, and Russ Never Sleeps. And over the first, it's River Tarquin the leader. They've all jumped it safely. Going towards the first stitch, River Tarquin the leader, followed by Joe White in second. Rushing Wild is on the inside. Just behind them, Russ Never Sleeps with Ebony Jane, and Rossi Nove is also close up. And they've all taken that one safely. Ali Moss is the back marker at this stage as they continue up the hill towards the third, and Rushing Wild has moved up on the inside to join River Tarquin in the lead, and they're followed in third place on the inside by Ebony Jane. Joe White is prominent. Mass Appeal and Royal Athlete are also close up, and Bishop's Hall on the inside not far behind them. Unavara Creek gets a few reminders, throws the back as they reach the top of the hill and turn towards fence number 4, and it's Rushing Wild the leader from River Tarquin in second place. Ebony Jane is in third with Joe White alongside. Just behind these is Captain Brandy, and they're followed by Ferriman, and a bad mistake there towards the back by Kindly King, who's the unseated rider there. Kindly King out of the race at the 4th as they go downhill towards fence number 5, and it's Rushing Wild the leader from River Tarquin. Joe White, Captain Brandy the outside. Wide of him is Sipton Abbey. Just behind these is Ferriman with Rosé Nove, and Cool Ground's on the floor there, and Royal Athlete's on the floor as well, and also Gertie's Pride. So drama there at that fence with 3 of them out of the race as Rushing Wild leads over the next, followed by Joe White in second place, and behind Joe White in third is Rosé Nove, and they're followed by Captain Brandy and Ebony Jane, and not far behind these is Ferriman with Mass Appeal. Coming down now from Ballyhack, racing towards fence number 7, and Rushing Wild is the leader. Rushing Wild in the lead from Joe White and Captain Brandy, and they're followed in 4th place by Rosé Nove. Sipton Abbey on the outside, Ferriman just behind these with Ebony Jane. They've all jumped that one safely, and Rushing Wild continues to lead. The top weight from Joe White in second. They're followed by Rosé Nove in third. All jockeys on their feet after that pile-up. A few fences back, coming down now towards the next plain fence. And the leader is still Rushing Wild from Joe White, Captain Brandy. Ferriman just behind them with Sipton Abbey and Rosé Nove, and they're followed by Ebony Jane. The River Tarquin is dropped back into midfield. Mass Appeal is on the inside. Crawford Says getting closer. Coming down now towards the next, which will be fence number 9. And Captain Brandy on the outside of Joe White and Rushing Wild. Rosé Nove is right with them. Just behind them is Ferriman. Then comes Ebony Jane and Sipton Abbey. River Tarquin is next as they jump the 9th and make the turn towards the straight for the first time. And the leaders, as they make the bend, Rushing Wild from Joe White, Rosie Nove the grey, then Ferryman. Behind Ferryman is Captain Brandy. Not far behind these on the inside is Ebony Jane with River Tarquin and Massapeel as they come towards fence number 10. And it's Rushing Wild and Joe White together, followed in third place by Rosie Nove. Then comes Ebony Jane on the inside. River Tarquin is next, and they're being followed on the outside by Ferryman. Then Captain Brandy has lost a few places, coming down to the fence number 11, the last next time round. Rushing Wild jumps it in front. Joe White is in second. In third place is Ebony Jane. Behind Ebony Jane comes Ferryman, and then comes Rosie Nove, Captain Brandy and Massapeel. River Tarquin and Dagwood, the committee, and Hacky Sacky. Then Laura's Bow, Sipton Abbey has dropped back, then Crawford Says. And as they pass the winning post, the Whiteless horses causing problems for the leaders, with Rushing Wild and Joe White, and just behind them is Ferryman as they come down now towards fence number 12, and the loose horses causing big problems here as Ferryman jumps up to dispute the lead, and Rosie Nove has gone there. Rosie Nove has unseated its rider as they go around the turn past the stands, and Rushing Wild is the leader from Joe White in second. In third is Ebony Jane, then comes Dagwood, then River Tarquin, then Massapeel. Behind Massapeel is Sipton Abbey with Zeta's Lad, and then comes Laura's Bow and Hacky Sacky and the committee, and then the Gooser, and then comes Inch Lady as they go to the first of the uphill fences, number 13, and Rushing Wild is the leader, followed in second place by Joe White. Then comes Ebony Jane, then behind these in fourth is River Tarquin, and then comes Dagwood, then Massapeel and Zeta's Lad and Hacky Sacky, and then Sipton Abbey as Rushing Wild jumps it well in the lead. Over that ditch, they've all taken it safely. Unavara Creek brings up the rear. They're racing now up to the top of the course on the 15th fence, and Rushing Wild is the leader, followed in second place by Ebony Jane. Joe White is in third, and Zeta's Lad has made ground behind them. Dagwood is going well on the outside, but over this one it's Rushing Wild the leader as they jump it and go to the turn now, right-handed at the top of the hill, and Rushing Wild from Joe White in second. Ebony Jane is third. Dagwood running a big race is fourth. Just behind these River Tarquin with Zeta's Lad. 8 fences to jump now in the National, and Rushing Wild is out of the race. Rushing Wild is being pulled up as they go over the fence at the top of the hill. Joe White is the leader. Dagwood is second. Zeta's Lad is third. Ebony Jane 4. River Tarquin is 5. Behind River Tarquin comes Massapeel, and they're being followed down the hill by Crawford Says and Laura's Bow, and then Ali Moss and Inch Lady. Behind these is Hacky Sacky as they come to this one. Joe White the leader. A bad mistake there by River Tarquin, but up front it's Joe White the leader from Dagwood, Ebony Jane, and Zeta's Lad getting there on the outside. Over the next, Joe White in the lead. Zeta's Lad has jumped up into second place. Mistake there by Hacky Sacky towards the back. But as they swing around the far turn, they've 5 fences left to jump, and it's Joe White and young Paul Carberry making it in the National, followed in second by Ebony Jane. Zeta's Lad is third. Ali Moss has gone fourth. Dagwood 5, Massapeel 6, Crawford Says is 7. Then comes River Tarquin and Inch Lady, and then for William beginning to make ground, then the committee, and then Bishop's Hall at this one now, and it's 5 from home. Joe White the leader, over from Zeta's Lad in second. Behind Zeta's Lad is Ebony Jane. After Ebony Jane, Ali Moss. Then comes Massapeel, and behind Massapeel comes Inch Lady, racing now with 4 fences to jump. Joe White the leader. Zeta's Lad going well in second. Ebony Jane on the inside. Then comes Ali Moss. Russ Never Sleeps making ground on the outside of Dagwood. Massapeel and Inch Lady, and for William creeping closer. 4 from home now, and it's Joe White the leader from Zeta's Lad and Ebony Jane, and then comes Ali Moss, and then Massapeel and Inch Lady in a gap to Russ Never Sleeps, and then the committee. They've 3 left to jump in the Jameson Irish National, and it's Joe White the leader from Ebony Jane and Zeta's Lad. 2 lengths back to Ali Moss. Then comes Inch Lady at the third last. Joe White and Ebony Jane. Zeta's Lad on the outside. They're racing now towards the home turn, and it's Ebony Jane the leader now. Ebony Jane and Charlie Swan from Zeta's Lad in second. In third place comes Joe White. Behind Joe White is Ali Moss. Then Russ Never Sleeps, Agastama, Appeal, and Crawford Says for William and the committee are next, but as they come to the second last, it's Ebony Jane, ears pricked, jumps in front from Zeta's Lad, a gap to Ali Moss, and Russ Never Sleeps. As they race towards the final fence, it's Ebony Jane, the leader, being chased in second place by Zeta's Lad, a gap back to Russ Never Sleeps in third, and Ali Moss 4. But Ebony Jane rises to the last in the Irish National, 3 lengths clear of Zeta's Lad, a gap to Russ Never Sleeps in fourth place. Is Ali Moss, and they're clear as they race into the closing stages. Charlie Swan getting a tremendous reception from the crowd on Ebony Jane as Russ Never Sleeps bears down on him with a determined challenge, but Ebony Jane's in front. Russ Never Sleeps is flying as they go to the line. Ebony Jane is going to hold on by about a length. off and says 7 is Joe White, and they're clear of Pat's Appeal. Then comes the committee, and it's a long way back to the stragglers. Unavara Creek, followed home by Dagwood. Behind Dagwood was Laura's Bow, and after Laura's Bow, Bishop's Hall looks like being the last to finish, although we look back and we see that River Tarquin is in fact completely tailed off. Hacky Sacky and the Gooser were pulled up, so was Sipton Abbey, but it's gone to Ebony Jane. Francis Flood has won his second Irish National 23 years after his first, and the Irish champion Charlie Swan wins the big one for the first time.
And the full result from the car from Ireland. First, number 9, Ebony Jane, 6-1. Second, number 10, Russ Never Sleep, 66-1. Third, number 4, Zita's Lad, 11-2 favourite. And the fourth horse, number 15, Ali Moss, at 20-1. 27.